as you can see, our guest speakers come from a very broad sector, and a very wide sector in the industry. And so we're going to give them an opportunity to really talk about their experience, and we'll start off with the very first question and our very first speaker, Raquel. So Raquel, we know that from our background, from what you shared with us in your background, we know that you're in the construction industry, which is a unique place and space for a woman, we would say. So what drew you to your career field, and then also what do you love about it most?
Hi everybody. I got into construction by accident 15 years ago looking for a side hustle. I was actually going to community college and I needed another job, and it was pretty easy to start a construction company with my then boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband. We've been together 19 years. This is 19 years, or this was 15 years ago when we did this. And then I ended up falling in love with it. I wanted to originally get into corporate finance, but then, true story, 3 months after getting started, I just started like cold calling and answering like Craigslist ads back in the day on somebody that was, I had there was an ad to dig a ditch, or there was an ad to come change out some carpet. It seemed pretty simple enough. So we would answer it, and then I kind of used Google. You guys now have YouTube University and a whole bunch more resources now. And then our first commercial gig was only 4 months in, and we ended up making $20,000 in 1 month. And I was only 22. So it's very possible to do it. And I ended up falling in love with it because there wasn't any other career that I knew of at the time yet where you could help the community and still make a good living. So I was able to do both, and that's how I got started.
Hi, how you guys? My name is Ebony Burrell, and I'm a chemical operator. I actually started in oil and gas. I've been in there for 16 years. One thing that I liked about the corporate America is that it was a 9-to-5 job. But one day I kind of just was with the ups and downs in the industry, I wanted to see what the industrial side considered to be. And I stumbled across for 10 years, I was looking at process tech and operator, and I wanted to see what all entails with it. So I kind of waited for 10 years to do anything, and then one day I just got up because I was all my kids are pretty much self-sufficient, and I walked into Lone Star College, and I said I'm going to come for the process tech degree. I ended up getting that degree, and as soon as I got the degree, I was soaring. I was able to graduate and end up gaining a job right in internship. I would say I would never turn back, because I guess being in the industry, just knowing that I could do things that a man can do was really intriguing to me. And I took that and I ran with it, and I kept on going. It is really a good industry to be in, because you will always have a job in that industry. I can actually tell you that, because you're always going to need toilet paper or CVC piping or anything of that nature, or the aircraft being, we do everything. So I definitely like it.
So what drew you to the career field, and then tell us what you love most about it.
Yes. Hi. I'm originally from Venezuela, and I got my bachelor's degree in Venezuela as petroleum engineering, and I was 22 years old when I got the degree, and then I started right away in the oil and gas over there. One thing that I love most about my career is that now I can say that I fully support my family back home. They're still back home, and that's a complete accomplishment for me, because when I was in the university, we couldn't afford to pay for a medical insurance, etc. And right now I'm able to fully support them. and this job gave me the opportunity to have relationship abroad my country. I continue my career outside the country. In fact, I worked in Europe for a long time, and then I arrived here in the U.S. And my advice to you guys is to keep on doing what you're doing, keep studying, and put goals. Every time you study, you just put goals, and you can accomplish whatever you feel like.
Okay, thank you. Tara?
Good afternoon. I actually started out in the nursing program. My daughter sadly got sick, so I needed something that was flexible. I saw some gentlemen standing outside, and I was like, what's this program about? So they told me, and I got into it, and I enjoyed it ever since. I like being that it's flexibility, ever-changing environment. Sometimes we are the only line of healthcare that people receive or will get. Their care is continued through us into the hospital setting.
And Tara, I remember when I talked to you initially, it's been about a month ago, I remember you talked about your work schedule, and I think you said that you work 2 days on, 2 days off,
Yes.
5 days off, or 10 days off. Can you talk about that schedule very quickly and then pass the mic?
So like tomorrow, I work 24-hour shifts. I'm off for 24. I go back and work another 24, and then I'm off for 5. That's just in Harris County. That's not everywhere you work. Some places do 12s, so some other places do 48. So you're on for 48 hours, and then you're off.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Office assignment, thank you.
My name is Melissa Simon, of course. I've been in the law enforcement field for approximately 30 years. I worked at the TDCJ before being a police officer. I actually worked at TDCJ before I went to the military. So this has kind of been my path from high school, from graduation. I love being outside. I love the running gun of not knowing what you're going to do every day. I like that you have something to solve, like a puzzle. I like all of these things intrigue me. All of these things I love. And I absolutely love the fact that I get to protect people who can't protect themselves, like babies and elderly. That's what I love about doing this is when you see the satisfaction, you get justice for someone who can't.
Thank you. All right, we're going on to our second question. So, can you share with me, we're starting directly with you, Raquel, can you tell us how many women are on your team, and then how does that gender dynamic impact the way that you work?
Majority of our company is on the C-suite level is predominantly all female. So my VP of construction is female, my CFO is female, my mentors I look to are also female. And in construction, there's not even a statistic for how many Latina general contractors there are measured. So if you go to Google, you can't find one. So we're kind of like the 0.0001%, which means that there's a lot of opportunity for point of entrance.
Lots of opportunity, everyone.
Yes, but
This is women's history.
her story. But I just, I think it's really important considering that when you're in an environment that you're not accustomed to being in, especially male-dominated industries, it's important to continue empowering other women and encouraging them that it is possible and it's actually a really great industry to be in.
Thank you. Kevin?
Sorry.
So how many women are on your team, and then how does that gender dynamic impact the way that you work?
Right now in my department, it's 3 women, 2 of them are engineers, and then me. It's actually quite easy to get along with everyone because we have good communication skills. We don't allow anyone to overpower each other, so we always work together as a team. So there hasn't been any type of conflicts or anything, but dealing with the men is really easy because they actually go out their way to help out the women when we need things to get done, are certain packages that we can't carry, they'll take the lead. So it's not that hard.
Thank you. Vanessa?
Yes, in the district that I'm working on here, I'm the only woman performing my job, and it's been very positive impact. Men in my district, they do appreciate our effort, and every time we try to, for example, in operations, we have really good communication, and especially if we want to perform a standing job. I haven't had any issue, but my advice is whenever you confront an issue with another gender, just try to be smart and try to be positive and proactive and take the leadership.
Okay. Thank you. Tara?
We currently have 87 women. That's throughout the entire company. So it could be from receptionists, EMT basics, advanced paramedics. I guess at my station, I'm the only female on my rotation tomorrow. So I work with 3 other men. That means there's one additional truck, including our truck, because we work as pairs.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Mr. Simon?
Yes, I work for a very small department. I think we have maybe,
If you can put your mouth a little closer to the mic.
we have maybe 65, 70 sworn officers, 6 are women, and only 1 works the street. So in my area, crime scene, we have 2, and both of us are female, and it works great because the ego's out of it. Like, she knows my strengths and weaknesses, I know hers, and we work very well together. With men, you tend to have that ego and they competition and they want to be the best. And yeah, there's no egos with us, so we actually work very well together. But I work well with the men too. I just had a different approach.
All right, we're going to talk more about that. We're going to move on to our next question. Okay, so Raquel, what is the most challenging aspect of being the gender minority in your workspace? And it sounds like for you, though, you're in the C-suite and you have several individuals who are women who are in that senior space. So can you tell us, what is the most challenging issue you've seen maybe for some of your direct reports possibly? And then how have you done to combat that?
Well, I started out in the field, so I know how to operate machinery, I know how to finish concrete, I know how to finish asphalt. 15 years ago, femininity was not really accepted into a lot of industries, especially mine, so I had to go out there looking like a dude, wearing no makeup and boots. That's why I wear hot pink every day when I can now. So as the business grew, yes, thank you. So as the business grew, I was able to encourage other women like, hey, you can do it in the field. And actually I got quite a bit of respect because I wasn't afraid of trying things. I wasn't afraid of doing things that I had never done before. And I think when you go in with that kind of attitude, with the learning and wanting to learn more, and wanting to be a part of a team environment, you'll actually find that it can be an asset with being the unique individual in the group. It's actually to your advantage, because then they're like, oh, everybody, men have daughters too. So, it actually worked out and to why we were able to, I think, grow as quickly as we were.
Thank you. And what's the most challenging aspect for you? It sounds like for you maybe.
I'm actually piggyback off of Raquel. It's actually not a challenge. It's actually quite an advancement because you get to show your skills as not just that you're a woman, but you can do a man's job, turn flanges, check levels and flows, and be able to work, as a team and get dirty. They were like, you're not gonna get dirty. I was like, watch me. And so it gives me quite a good opportunity to actually move up within the company because I can actually gain management and leadership position with my skills as an operator, but also having that leadership quality in me.
Thank you. Vanessa? What's the most challenging aspect of that, being the gender minority in your workspace, and then what have you done to combat that?
What have helped me to succeed in this environment is that preparing myself academically and personally, because you always have to learn new things every single day. And that helped me a lot to have the enough knowledge and experience for me to be proactive and coach other people within our group organization. And that built a lot of respect among all the men within my work.
Very good, thank you. Tara?
Gender biases, believing that women aren't as strong or as smart as females. I get that a lot. Sadly, education and training has really helped overcome a lot of that, showing that throughout our training, Harris County offers a lot of card classes like PALS, ACLS, ITLS. We also offer the advanced airway courses where we work on intubation, Crikes, where you would, I hate to say it, cut the throat to put in a tube to help breathe for you. Also, in management, you'll see a lot of men versus women. You may see like a dash or a sprinkle. I think it has improved a lot over the years. We are starting to see more female move into roles of management. We're still not where we want to be, but we're making progress.
Thank you, Karen. Officer Simon? So what's been the most challenging aspect of you being that gender minority, and then also, can you tell us what have you done to combat that?
Wow.
That you can talk about?
My journey is interesting. It was very challenging because I kind of was the prototype, so to speak, the Jackie Robinson. I had to I couldn't be good. I could not be good. I had to be great. And I knew that. I knew that going in. Because first of all, there were two women that ever worked at the department ever before me. I was the third, and the other two weren't. They were in admin. So I was the only one taking calls, out there running gun with the guys. So I was. It was hard. It was very hard. But I proved myself early. I mean, lucky for me, I was in the military. I was in the best shape of my life, so I could get in there with the best of them. So, but they made me prove myself. They did some stuff. They did some things. But I proved to them that I could handle myself. And after that, it was better for me. It was great actually, because they actually prefer to go into battle with me than some of the guys. So I had to prove myself, and that was it. Once I did that, it was okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, here is another question.
Yeah.
So when you are exploring new career opportunities, how does that gender dynamic factor into your job search strategy?
So I am specific with clients that I choose to work with. So it goes both ways. Like women tend to be, actually everybody puts themselves in a box. I say don't put yourself in a box, but I do look into the kind of companies that I feel like align with my purpose, align with my mission, probably a little bit more progression that can relate a lot to the younger generation. And if you're not there with it, and if you have that old school mentality, then I probably don't want to work with you. So that's kind of how it's my decision just as much as it's theirs to get work.
Thank you. Ebony, so when you're exploring those new career opportunities, maybe thinking about a place not in the current place of employment, how does that gender dynamic factor into your job search strategy? Does it kind of put you in a box and maybe you're refraining from considering going outside, or is there something else?
I wouldn't say I refrain. I don't like to put myself in a box as well. So any opportunity that is given to me or that I see that I can do, I always strive to go and do it. I can work with anyone, men, women, anyone. I love, my passion is people, my passion is communication. So I just think having that drive to just know what you can do and not limit yourself, or not playing small when it comes down to choosing different aspects of your life or where you want to go in your career drive. So just being open-minded, so I don't limit myself.
Okay, Madison, what about you? When you're thinking about those other career opportunities, maybe outside of Halliburton, because you've been at Halliburton for a while now, how does that gender dynamic factor into your job search strategy?
Yeah, well, actually, yes, I did experience one time when there was a downturn in the oil and gas. I started working as office assistant. And it was good, but sometimes, you happen to meet people that they are not open-minded, as Raquel said, and Ebony said, but you don't have to feel less than anybody else. As long as you have control of the situation and a good communication and the education, there's no limit.
Excellent, thank you, Vanessa. Tara, what about you?
I agree with a lot of what y'all have already said. Don't limit yourself, don't put limitations on yourself. Don't allow yourself to be put in a box. You really have to step out there and shine. If you know your stuff, speak up, show them in your actions. I've also found that for me, there are some things throughout EMS that have been a bit of a struggle, like incident command. I dove head first into it. Took quite a few classes, became an incident commander, strike team leader, staging manager. So when we do have those mass events, not just hurricanes, but bus accidents or school shootings, sadly, it's a real thing. I do get deployed on those things. I worked with Atascocita on the AMBUS, so we got deployed to Orange, Texas. We were able to help a lot of the community that were flooded in. So again, turn your weaknesses into a strength.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Simon. So when you're exploring those other career opportunities, how does the gender dynamic factor into your job search strategy?
I don't think it factored in for me. I believe my career kind of chose me because it went so smoothly. So sometimes you choose your career, sometimes it chooses you. I think my path, my goal and my purpose is service. So everything I've done has been to serve community, family, So, but I don't think I'll be looking for any more jobs. So I make 20 years here next month. So we'll see.
Excellent, very good. 20 years at the Omaha Police Department, all right. Okay, so I want you to all in the audience, I would like you to be thinking about a question that you have. I will open it up in just a minute or two. So we do have another question or two up front, and then I'm going to open the mic and give you a chance to ask questions, your burning questions. So write them down, and we'll give you that chance. So here is an additional question. What is the one strategy that you found to be successful in helping you to integrate into your unique work environment? So some of you have mentioned it to a degree, so just kind of maybe talk a bit more in detail in regards to what that strategy, that plan looks like.
I think don't be afraid to fail. I think a lot of us go into, when you're exploring, especially right now, what you want to do in the long run, don't be afraid of trying things, experiencing things, asking questions. For me, I continuously still am going places I have never gone. I think that's important so that you can look back in reflection of your life and be like, man, I really lived. So I think looking at failure as a blessing, learning from that, and the journey and process. Everybody wants to be at the top of the mountain, but it's really the journey to get there and the struggle that gives you pure happiness and growth in life. So that's my biggest advice to anybody right now that's getting an education. Education is important. It is. I I know they say like it's not for everybody, but you know, certification wise, or finding what works for you personally and not listening so much to the outside environment, but what's going to work for you to succeed, I think is so important.
Thank you, Raquel. Evan, question is for you. So what is that one strategy that you found to be successful in helping you to integrate into your unique work environment?
I would say starting with a vision and having a goal, and every goal and vision that I had, I set apart to make that mark. Being in school and being a full-time mom was very challenging, but that was a goal that I decided to do, and I wanted to make sure that I could show my kids that you can do anything you put your mind to. So I never gave up, and I didn't want them to give up. But just having a vision, I think that when you go in knowing what you want to do, and you have people that probably would say, no, you shouldn't do that, or you know, you have the naysayers, but then you already have your vision set. No one should be able to turn your back of what you strive to do. That's a goal. Mark your goal. And when you mark your goal, you give your own self a pat on the back, because you're showing yourself like, hey, I can do it, you know. So.
Vanessa?
I would say try to, if you decide to study and get prepared, try to get prepared in an area that you love, you have a passion for it. Otherwise, you won't enjoy what you're gonna do by the time you start in the workforce. And in my opinion, I think that's the main idea of success, is having the passion.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Karen?
I guess mine would be like work-life balance. Sadly, we see a lot of things that we can't like take out of our brains at the end of the shift. So for me, I like anything outside, like walking, riding a bike. Not a big gardener, but I'll try. I love to volunteer. Me and a couple of girlfriends get together. We go to the Star Folk downtown and pass out snacks at mealtime or bedtime.
Mr. Simon?
Okay, I would say for me it was pretty much developing a thick skin. Understanding that you can't take everything personal. You have to understand that as long as you stay focused on your goals, whatever comes at you, you set those boundaries and you keep moving. I think that's what my journey has taught me the most. Develop a thick skin. You have to pick and choose your battles. Every battle is not yours. Okay?
All right, so I have one more question, and so this one is going to dive deep. I would like each of you to share one of your biggest failures. So you each have talked about that, you know, don't be afraid to fail. If you do fail, get back up. So, you know, give us an inside peek at what does that failure look like?
From career-wise, I think one of my biggest failures for me was not believing in myself enough. I was at the table, offered a seat at the table way before I was ready to be at the table mentally. And so I failed myself in that moment. And so I had to change that mindset. And like what she said down there about thick skin, because I was told a lot, you can't, you won't, and then I had to change that mind frame of, wait, yes I can, and I will, and there's nobody that's going to stop me from making it happen for myself. So, I mean, a real life experience, I had a project, and I literally had this guy tell me straight up, hey, you might be able to get more work if you had a man representing the company. And I wasn't shocked by it, but at the moment I kind of halfway believed him. Well, maybe that would be the case. And then I had to like snap out of it. So yeah, I think that thick skin self-belief thing is really important.
Thank you. Ebony, your biggest failure, would you can share?
Wow. I don't consider it as a failure, but fear. Fear will stop you from doing anything. And that was one of my things that I'm still struggling with. Even much today, I didn't think I wanted to come up here to even speak, but I overcame fear. So
Good job.
I would say fear, just knowing that you can do, and you just don't allow the fear to stop you, because once you get over that fear, you just see so much rainbows, and you want to continue to see that rainbow. You want to continue to see your growth. And when I jumped into the industry, I was very fearful because I got a whole lot of naysayers, because I'm so used to being girly and dressing up, and I'm changing up for a hard hat and boots and stuff. And I was like, well, I can still do it. And I actually like that dynamic that I overcame that fear, and I actually like the industry that I'm in right now.
Excellent. So I'd just like to add this in, Ebony, yes, you did agree to come. I had to twist your arm a little bit, so thank you very much for that. And I heard this one author say, I was listening to a book about a month or so ago, and he said that fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So I think that that's a great takeaway for all of us as we're thinking about, opportunities and just things that we like to try in life. Vanessa?
Yeah, I agree with Ebony. When I first started in the oil and gas, everything, since you're new, you need to go to trainings and intensive studies and pretty difficult exams, including math, geometry, algebra, etc. And when I was starting to work on it, I was like, okay, but I'm not sure if I'm able to achieve that. And actually, I did it. And looking back, I mean, it's amazing what have we done in the past that we were not able to believe that we were accomplished that, and in fact, it is. It's all just a matter of what you guys were saying about being scared of doing new things, and actually the sky is not the limit.
That's right.
That is true.
Thank you. Tara? So your biggest failure? Your biggest failure?
Self-doubt, not believing in myself, not thinking that I could do something, and then proving to myself that I could, or that I was worth it. We're already a select few group women in the EMS, and to be a Black female is even smaller group. So having to know my things, or the things that we all learn in the EMS or as a paramedic, I have to know my stuff backwards and forwards. I've also found that even in the community, even though I am a paramedic, if I'm working with a lower level or a basic, sometimes people don't like to receive the information from me. So if I'll say something and then my partner will say it, the exact same thing, they seem to be more apt to accept it. So there are some small little things, but even still, it's about the education. It doesn't matter who says it, as long as that person gets what they need.
Correct.
Simon,
Failure?
your biggest failure, one that you can share?
No. Well, for me, personally, it's not getting my degree. I have been going to school for 20 years, and I still don't have my degree. But I consistently go. I take classes here and there. But that's what I want my degree for me. So that's where I gotta keep going. But I'm not there yet. And my goal when I first got into law enforcement was to get my degree and go federal. I didn't ever make it. I missed the deadline because I didn't have my degree on time. So I put my hard work back into just being local police and doing a great job. I love my job. I love crime scenes, so it wasn't a bad thing to stay there, but I wanted to get my degree still.
Thank you. Okay, so we would like to open the floor for your questions. So if you have a burning question, we would love to hear that, give you an opportunity. Okay. I'm gonna just grab that mic. Thank you.
So my question to all of you would be, so I understand that going into, I want to pursue a career in a male-dominated career. I want to be a lawyer and possibly a position in government in politics. I understand that I would probably be a double minority, being a woman and African American. So my question to all of you would be, how do you maintain the inner confidence and persistence to continue to pursue your career goals despite discrimination and the preconceived notion that as a woman you can't perform your job effectively, or with some fact that you shouldn't be in your specific job because you're a woman, because well, you can't do that, you can't do this. How do you just maintain the inner push to continue to go beyond?
I'm gonna say this. Speak positive affirmations over your life. Because when you speak those positive affirmations and you believe it, you can care less about what the world say. You got this, you can do it. So you keep on pushing. I can see you as a lawyer, so go for it.
Yes, I could tell you're going to be like the leader, the CEO,
Yes.
first one here, taking notes, very serious. So kudos to you for that. One thing that I learned, and I can tell you that the only person preventing you from reaching the place where you want to go is yourself. So you look at yourself in the mirror, because you will have haters. I got haters every day. There will be people that don't want to see you succeed. They're not going to want to see you go places that they have never gone because maybe they're not capable. So it's very, very important that you get right with the relationship with yourself first. And like she said, you do that self-affirmation, but you got to really believe it, because if you don't believe in you first, then nobody's going to believe in you. So you start with you, you look at yourself in the mirror, and just always remember that. Always remember that. So if you get one no, okay, next. You get another no, okay, next. You keep putting your name in the hat, you keep getting back up, because it's not a matter of like, I always say, like, I said this last time, I was like, man, get ready for the 1-2 punch, right? Because you're going to go in the ring and people are going to keep hitting you, but be prepared for the knockout. So you just keep doing you, keep working hard, and you can make it, period.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Your burning question? Another question?
Okay.
Hi, first I want to commend all of you women for what you do. I am in awe of you. Congratulations to all of you for being on the panel. This question is actually for Officer Simon. I am in awe of you. You are a walking movie. So just your credentials alone just deserve so much. And so I am admiring you. I want to know, in your career, there had to have been a moment when you said, I had to be good, but I couldn't be good, I had to be great, even to get just a little bit of recognition. So that moment, there had to have been like this turning point for you. Can you share that? Like, what made you all of a sudden decide, good isn't good enough for me, I gotta be great?
Believe it or not, I was actually told that. I was actually informed that I could not be good. I had to be better than good, and that was the only way I would make it. The harsh reality of being in a male-dominated field and being where I am and where I started my career, it was very male-dominated. They still believe women shouldn't be police officers. That's their mindset. They don't believe women. But I came in, I excelled. So I think I made an example, and I showed them that we can be great too. So it was actually probably day 3 on the job.
Wow.
Day 3. It was when I met my first MTO, my training officer, and we sat in a car, and he looked at me and he said, let me tell you something. You are in uncharted territory. You cannot be good. You must be great. And he said it to me. I kind of knew, but didn't know. I was 6 years old. I was, I thought I knew what he meant, but as my journey started, I absolutely knew what he meant. I had a hard time. It was hard for me to pass my training program not because of my ability, because I was great. I was in the best shape of my life, but because they didn't want me there in the first place. The reason they gave me a chance was to give me a chance to fail. So I proved them wrong.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, you deserve an honorary degree from me.
We can take a couple more questions.
Oh, okay, so as a person who I understand that my biggest obstacle in life is gonna be myself, because I do a lot of self-doubt and just fear of like, I hate failing and perfectionist, something I'm trying to learn to get over. What would be the hardest like lesson you've learned or had to come to terms with as you pursued your career and your career goals and are still pursuing as time changes, you get new employers, things like that, you still have to deal with discrimination to some degree.
No,
Go ahead.
You'll always have to deal with discrimination or somebody being indifferent to you, not just because you're a woman, you're a black woman, you're a young lady. It's going to be a lot of things that come at you. But look at this panel. I mean, we're proof that you can do. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. You have something. So stop with this self-doubt. That's not for you. You have other problems. Worry about something else. That's not.
Yes.
That's it.
You're great.
You got it. Speak up for yourself.
I want to say that even sometimes your closest circle, one of my biggest mistakes in my journey has been as I was going to places for guidance and mentorship from people that shouldn't have even been giving me guidance or mentorship in the first place. And we tend to make that mistake a lot, especially when we're young, because you're groomed to ask your mom and dad or your best friend or your cousins. But if they have not done what you are trying to do, you need to find the right source for guidance in that, because that's really going to help you get through those moments of adversity. And it really is the people that can get through those moments of adversity and keep pushing through that pain that will make it. So you have to get comfortable with changing your environment, and that's really hard in growth, because we're used to you'll start feeling like, man, well, I really love them. Of course you love them, but if they're not in the same mindset as you, you can't be around them all the time. So that's really helped me a lot in my journey.
I want to say the same thing for what Raquel said. Sometimes it takes you being by yourself to really figure out who you are, because when you have a whole lot of people that give you advice, it's probably not the best advice, so you shouldn't want to take their advice at first. You got to know what what's your name? Brooklyn wants to do. Brooklyn got a strong name, so you got to know what Brooklyn wants to do. Get in solitude. I would say find your inner peace, because you're going to have a whole lot of things coming at you. Life. Anything that's going to drive you to go left, but you got to stay focused. My personal experience, I had to deal with it, and I was like, should I stay in school, should I not? But I told myself, Ebony, you're going to stay in school. Ebony, you're going to keep going, keep pushing forward, because nobody can do it but Ebony, just like nobody can do it but Brooklyn. And when you get everybody that said everything to you, you just got to just not listen, because you hold the key to what you want. In your heart, you know. So don't allow no one to tear your heart apart and tell you what you should or what you shouldn't do.
Okay, everyone, I would like you to please join me in giving our guests a round of applause.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content from LSC-Kingwood.